Hello everyone. We could say that you won't surprise anyone with a tattoo anymore, but this is simply not true. Yes, ordinary patterns no longer catch the eye, but the tattoo industry is not standing still. Some masters can still make you gasp in amazement. They create portraits that look like real photos, turn the body into an optical illusion, and even create tattoos that look like they're stitched into the skin. Today, you will see some of their incredible works, and perhaps take a note of some ideas. Let's get it on. Candle fingers. You know, some skeptics refuse to recognize tattoos as an art form. They argue that a drawing on the body can never be compared with a painting on a canvas in terms of expressiveness. Well, if these guys only saw the works of Jack Connolly, they'd immediately change their minds. Let's start with perhaps the most impressive tattoo made by this British artist. Look, he literally turned his fingers into candles. It looks so real that you start feeling some eerie vibes. The fingers seem to have ceased to be part of the hand and are hanging in the air. Well, almost every work of Jack makes you gasp in amazement. Did you know that portrait is considered one of the most difficult genres in painting? But an artist can always redo a failed portrait, while a tattoo artist has only one attempt. All the more surprising how realistic his works look. By the way, Connolly is fond of oil paintings too. Maybe that's why his tattoos look like real paintings. Optical illusions. If you think tattoos are supposed to blow your minds, then you'll definitely enjoy these few masterpieces. First, let's check out the work of Fabio Ciescia, an artist who specializes in geometric and Polynesian tattoos. It'd seem that these are just a few curved lines, but this pattern really gets your gears turning, doesn't it? And here is a 3D tattoo by a Swedish master who managed to create something like a black hole on his arm. Yes, we also want to touch it and make sure that this is just a drawing. The same goes for this puzzle from Alexei Moroz from Kiev. By the way, does it remind you of anything? This is the inside view of that very donut from our video about optical illusions. Of course, this tattoo doesn't rotate, but the immersion is just as strong, don't you agree? Body embroidery. As you already realized, tattoo art doesn't stand still. Masters constantly come up with something new, and we couldn't help but talk about one of the latest techniques. How do you like this embroidery on the body? Don't be scared though. No one in their right mind would agree to such torment. This is just an amazingly executed imitation. After all, the tattoo machine also has a needle, so why not try embroidering with paint? The funny thing is that the creators of such works use the same technique as in real sewing. The designs are made either using a tiny X mark, that is, using cross-stitching, or with thin threads, imitating satin stitching. The result is incredible patches. Harley Quinn and Batman look great, don't you agree? The artist who created them is Paulina Oliver from Mexico, and her works are something special. It seems that any of the threads on her tattoos can be pulled. They look so realistic. By the way, the girl is experimenting with other techniques that imitate traditional Mexican craft. Check out this bead pattern. Clothing tag. Recently, tattoos have become incredibly popular. Literally every third passerby has at least one tattoo on their body. What does it mean though? It's getting harder and harder to choose a unique pattern. Well, if you're tired of flipping through sketch pages and looking for something really special, here's an idea from the Hungarian salon Joanne Tattoo and Piercing. Admit it, with such a tag you definitely stand out, right? Shadow, threads, and font look incredibly realistic. The only problem is that in the summer, you'd get tired of hearing the phrase, "Oh, you've got something on your back." Gears in the head. They say that some people experience a headache just by looking at this tattoo. As for us, we admire the professionalism of the artist. We wonder how many hours it took to achieve such a stunning 3D effect. Just see how the real cracked shell and the gear mechanism hidden under it look. Not everyone can do this, even with Photoshop. Though overly impressionable passers-by may really think that a machine uprising has begun. Do you think this is overkill? Cracked glass. You've probably heard that history repeats itself. This is also true for art. For example, back in the 15th century, artists mastered a technique called trompe-l'oeil, depicting volumetric objects on a plane surface. You've definitely seen some pictures like that. For example, the one where a person seems to get out of the canvas. Using paint and a brush, the masters of the past created the illusion of something three-dimensional, but non-existent. This technique is now trendy again. Today, it's used by the most talented tattoo tattoo artists, like Nico Mariani from France. What you see now is his work in this style. With just a few details, the skin turned into broken glass. It looks so real that it seems that you can even cut yourself on it. Isn't it cool? Detailed miniatures. You can say that this image was probably photoshopped. Someone just took some beautiful prints and put them on top of photos of hands to deceive us. Believe us, we would think the same. But the author of these tattoos is too popular to mislead people. Here are the works of Alessandro Capozzi, also known as Alex Oreo, a world-renowned celebrity tattoo artist. The guy has an impressive client list that includes celebrities like Demi Lovato, Ashley Greene, Scooter Braun, and Ben Hardy. This is not surprising. The master creates unique, hyper-realistic works of art. Almost all of his tattoos are no more than 1 to 2 inches in size, but each of them is incredibly detailed. Can you imagine how talented the master is? Alex is especially good when it comes to animals. The fur, the whiskers, even the glare of the eyes. This retriever looks like it's about to bark with joy. His Einstein tattoo is also gorgeous, just like on the famous photograph. Which one do you like most? Snakeskin. Seems like snake prints will never go out of fashion. They put them on bags, clothes, accessories, so why not always wear snakeskin? No, these are not trendy gym leggings as you might have thought, but a chic tattoo from the ankle to the knee. One can only guess the pain its owner had to endure, but the result was definitely worth it. The drawing, of course, hardly feels like real snakeskin when you touch it, but it looks very impressive. And here's what the artist came up with on the reverse side. Seems like the leg's about to shed its skin. A word of advice for this guy: better not to stick such a leg out of the tent on a hike. Superhero costume. We know for sure there's a superhero inside all of us. If you feel that yours is about to burst out, here's the idea of how to make a tattoo out of it. This guy's human suit is a little shabby, but that's okay. He has a much cooler Spider-Man suit underneath. You can choose Hulk, Iron Man, or Mystique, though Batman will not look very good. By the way, some users advised the guy to make the tattoo of Venom in the same style on the other hand. It'd look amazing, wouldn't you agree? Sculptures on the skin. We've already mentioned how closely tattoos are intertwined with other forms of art. Everything's obvious when it comes to painting or embroidery, but what can tattoo and sculpture have in common? This will become clear if you just look at the work of Mr. T, a talented tattoo artist from Stockholm. This guy has an impressive portfolio of black and white tattoos, from pop icon portraits and famous movie scenes to intricate designs. But his hyper-realistic ancient statue tattoos get the most attention. You may notice that the master is mostly inspired by Greco-Roman culture. For example, this is not simply a tattoo, but a whole story about the betrayal of Caesar by Brutus. Sculptures, we mean drawings of David, Roman legionnaire, and Buddha look no less impressive. But his most ambitious work is what really blows your mind. It covers the entire back of the owner, and it seems that the author really carved it out of stone. No wonder people are so delighted. Sweets. Someone makes the tattoo with a portrait of their soulmate, someone with their favorite pets. Many people have tattoos depicting their idols from movies or games. So what's so surprising about getting a tattoo of a favorite treat? Although, judging by how rumpled the Oreo packaging is, there's nothing left in it. Perhaps this is just a reminder that you shouldn't eat too many sweets. And this lollipop looks so realistic that you just want to taste it. Look, the stick's literally hanging in the air. You can challenge people in the bar to take this candy off you, and the loser pays you $5. Fisherman's tattoo. Most sports fans don't need to think long about their ideas for a tattoo. Football fans choose a ball, hockey fans a puck with a stick. But what if your hobby is fishing? Here's a great solution from a Czech craftsman: a hyper-realistic, heart-shaped hook that pierces your flesh. An overly sensitive person could faint when they see this tattoo. It seems minimalistic, but thanks to the play of the shadows, the effect is amazing. The place where the hook goes under the skin looks especially realistic. It seems that the skin is really swollen in this spot. Realistic characters. Do you have a favorite movie or TV show that you can watch again and again for the rest of your life? Or maybe you're a fan of comic books and know everything about any character. Then you probably thought about getting a tattoo of some character at least once. If you suddenly decide to do it, you should know what some of the best works in this field look like. These realistic masterpieces were made by Sacha O'Karin from St. Petersburg. The guy specializes in drawing pop culture characters. How do you like Rust Cole from The True Detective? Or Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? You can even tattoo the entire comic on your hand. Whatever you choose, the tattoo will look like it's a freeze-frame shot. Seriously, this drawing resembles Princess Leia even more closely than Carrie Fisher did herself. So now you know which tattoo master to go to. Matching tattoos. Let's be honest, you don't often come across original matching tattoos. Usually these are halves of hearts, the sun and the moon, or matching puzzle pieces. But we found something better. Take a look. If you and your partner dislike alcohol, you can tattoo a jug of orange juice in a glass, or coffee pouring from the pot into a cup, although it won't look so impressive. However, when separated, the tattoos will look a little weird. Apparently, these two people will always have to be together. Anaglyph tattoo. Hold on, you're about to get pretty dizzy. The author of these funny drawings is a tattoo artist Winston the Whale from Portland. You'd be surprised, but the guy came up with such a unique style by accident. As is often the case, one of his clients decided to get a tattoo, but had no idea which one to choose. The master suggested a skull, the guy asked him to make it 3D, and voila, a new technique was born. Don't bother looking for 3D glasses in the closet though, they won't work with these tattoos, but that doesn't make them any less awesome. Most of all, of course, we like Baby Yoda, a cute computer, and a shark with hairy human legs. Which one do you prefer? Posters. Almost every film and music fan sooner or later faces a problem. There's no longer enough free space for posters on the walls of their room. But the number of favorite films and bands just keeps on rising. There is one guy who can help solve this problem. 23-year-old New York City tattoo artist Kozo is known for his miniature-colored tattoos in the hyper-realistic genre, and he's especially great at imitating posters and comic books. For example, there are several works dedicated to Superman and Spider-Man. By the way, do you see a spot from a mug of coffee? This is also part of the tattoo. Can you imagine that? Check this magazine clipping with Harley Quinn, which seems to be glued to the skin. Even the corners stick out. If you wish, you can even tattoo the entire interior on your hand. A shelf with books, a houseplant, a painting, and a Pulp Fiction poster on the wall next to it. Shots from films. Did you ever watch a movie, saw an amazing shot and thought, if only you could take a screenshot and apply it to your skin in 720p resolution? Well, why settle for 720 when you can do it in full HD quality? Belgian tattoo artist Inel Berzakov will help you make your dreams come true. Just look at examples of his work and you'll be convinced. Even the printer pales in comparison. There are a lot of celebrities, from rappers to athletes, among the clients of the master, so you'll have to wait in line for at least a couple of months. Such excitement is understandable. The detailed depiction of every millimeter of the image has already become Inel's shtick. Check out his Joker. He seems to have left the screen, and he can also leave the body at any moment. Photorealism in tattoos. Do you remember the tattoos by Alessandro Capozzi with the Retriever and Einstein? We mentioned them at the beginning of the video. If you were wondering if it's possible to make such detailed tattoos but on a larger scale, well, the answer is yes, it is. See for yourself. This is pure photorealism, performed by Oleg Shepalenko. Perhaps this guy really uses magic. You can show him any photo and be 100% certain that the tattoo will be identical to the photo. By the way, his success story is inspiring. Oleg studied the art of tattooing on his own, mainly through tutorials on YouTube. He's devoted 17 years of his life to the art of tattoos, and it seems has truly mastered it. Hold on a second. Do you want to see some crazy stories from real life? Nothing dull, only action, only adventures, chases and fights, love confessions and sudden betrayals. Don't believe us? Well, follow the link and see for yourselves. Our animation channel Private Diary reveals the deepest secrets. Don't forget to subscribe.